So I want to make sure you clarify that, because you said Stone Mountain and then you said suburbs, and there are some people, because I'm a real estate broker too, right? So there are some people that may be like, oh, MiAsia said Stone Mountain is the burbs.
You setting the bar high. I just want to let you know. You came off the top rope talking about you about to want some heart. So I'm looking forward to it.
Like, oh my God. The first thing I'm thinking is, I know I'm behind this mic on the radio, but I know there are thousands of people in the car listening, and that's what intimidated me. So I froze.
Because me and Queen will be getting down on dance. I'm just letting that be known right now. Like, I don't know what y'all gonna be doing, but that's what needs to happen. So fellas, I'm just letting you know.
Like, most people try to do 2 + 2 = 4. Right? That's the basic norm, fundamental math, right? But a lot of people don't realize you can do 2 × 2. You can do 5 - 1. There's different ways to get to whatever your goal is. So 4 represents your goal, but there's different ways to get to 4.
Don't even go back to the house to record. Make sure you stay in the trailer, brother. There's some oil in that trailer, man, for sure. All right, here we go. Welcome to the Forte Podcast. I'm your co-host, Dominic Epps.
And I'm your co-host, Randall Monfiston.
And we are here to dive into your lane of greatness to discover what comes easy for you that may not be easy for all others.
Everyone's a genius, from the 9-to-5 employee to the Fortune 500 billionaire. We're here to highlight those attributes through dialogue and interviews with amazing guests.
Absolutely. So I got one question for you.
What's that, bro?
What's your forte?
Let's go.
Let's go. All right. So, y'all, we are live with all the technical difficulties and everything that happens. This is just it is, right? But today we're so excited. First of all, bro, tell everybody where you at, man. Let's introduce everybody to your new studio, to your new live studio. Where are you coming in recording from? Yeah, let's go.
A little different background effect from the past, right? You know, I'm in the office of my home. But as you can see, I'm at the trailer, new office trailer of my company, Gift Transport, Inc. As a lot of our day one viewers have observed, I went from 9 to 5 to a full-time entrepreneur, and it's just another step in the growing process. So I have a trailer with an office in it, and I have my tractors outside in the yard. So we're gonna make it
talk that talk,
and I'm gonna make
talk that talk,
man. So be able to still do this podcast and give you this fire content.
Let's go, talk that talk, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. So he's live from the trailer, right? But we got a guest today live with us, and we're going to bring her on. For those of you in the ATL, you hear her every day, right? On one of the hottest radio stations, 107.9. You hear her every day. But let's bring to the Forte Podcast, the one and only, MiAsia Symone. Come on, unmute yourself.
Okay, there we go. Welcome.
MiAsia, what's going on? Glad you are here with us for the Forte Podcast.
Yes, thank you for having me. I was like, let me put on my all black so I can get ready just to show the preparation.
Yeah. And I thought about that, right? But it is what it is. You sporting it well. We appreciate you for sporting it well. And thank you for representing for Saturday. Thank you for representing.
No, but you're representing for the A. And
let's go. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, let's go. So we all representing something. Randall representing Gift Transport. You're representing for the Forte, and I'm representing for the A. It's all love. All right, so listen, we're glad that you're up here, right? And I'm going to let Randall start things off. Just ask some questions just to get, so our viewers can get to know who you are, right? Some of them hear you, some of them see you, but we want to get into your story, into your background. So, bro, you got it.
So we always start off the interview, the podcast, when we ask the guests, what's their forte? So, MiAsia, tell our viewers, our listeners, what's your forte? What is your niche that you do well that other people may not be able to do or replicate themselves because it's not their forte, it's yours?
That's a good question, because honestly, I think my forte, I wear many hats, right? I think that the common thing, though, is something with people. Like, I just always have that. My niche is like warming the hearts of other people, getting them to open up and be themselves. And I've always been that sponge, like to all my friends. They tell me all their stories, all their business, and they can trust me. I'm genuine. So I think really anything dealing with people is making them feel good, making them feel appreciated, understanding that they are human, and that's my forte.
Got it. Got it. Got it. So through this interview, we should be able to get a lot of hearts warmed up by your charisma, by your story, by your
Mhm.
energy. You setting the bar high. I just want to let you know. You came off the top rope talking about you about to warm
Okay,
some hearts. So I'm looking forward to it.
okay, let's do
All right.
it.
Okay. So kind of tell us, well, outside of the fact that you like to bring people in and warm their hearts and all that. So what is the exact job description, should I say, that you or not job, what skill set, back it up. What do you do to warm people's hearts? Right. What is your source of income or whatever to be able to get people to feel comfortable and feel heart warmed?
All right. Well, first and foremost, I'm a radio personality here in Atlanta, Georgia. You can hear my voice on Hot 107.9 Monday through Saturday. Monday on Hot at Night with my co-host Fly Guy DC, and then Saturdays I have MiAsia Symone Live, which is my Saturday show from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And then in addition to that, I also provide service. I have my own production company. It's called MSL Media, where we just pretty much cover all the events, anything production, videos, photos. We make it look good, make it look professional. And then I also have a nonprofit organization. It's called Hands on the Future Foundation, where I focus on empowering the youth and turning them into future leaders. So I get to touch on many different aspects of people in my career, whether it's radio, whether it's my nonprofit, whether it's my production company. I'm always providing a service.
Man, that's you got a lot of hats. You got a lot of plates spinning in the air. So what we try to do is take people on the story. That's what you're doing as of today. We want to capture how did you get here. So kind of talk to us about your childhood. Was there any things that maybe you've seen examples when you were a kid, or it was just embedded in you to grow to be the person you are, where you have multiple hats that you're handling different businesses at the same time?
My background pretty much just comes from my parents. You know, they were entrepreneurs. I grew up in a two-parent household, and I watched them build a business from scratch. I watched them, come together as this power couple and complement each other. And then watching them, be entrepreneurs, and it's so crazy. They had a daycare center, so they service children as well. And like that's just kind of where it came from. My resilience, my work ethic came from both of my parents, just watching them as I was growing up.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. I think a lot of people undervalue that, right? A lot of people feel fearful to be in rooms that they don't normally feel comfortable in or that they don't belong. And most people, unfortunately, are not able to have the opportunity to see examples from family members, parents, and such like you have, right? So, what I want the audience to hear or to see is that sometimes you just got to be in the space. Sometimes you just got to see other people doing it, and it'll give you that just a little bit of that motivation to go out and try it on your own. And I think that's what I take away from your story, right? And that's why we try to touch on the childhood. And did you experience anything? Some people they figured out on their own because they learned what they don't want to live, what kind of experience they don't want to have as an adult. Other people have been able to see examples that allow them to be able to grow to who they are. But yeah, that's dope. So we got childhood. You see an example. You said a daycare that your parents were creating. So did you, as you watched them, did you know that, hey, this is something that I also want to follow suit in as far as some type of entrepreneurial thing, or it was just kind of like a seed planted in the back of your head and it kind of manifested later on in life?
Well, my dad was always like, I don't want my kids to work a 9 to 5. I don't want you to punch a clock. I want you to become self-made. I want you to take over the family business. And unfortunately, he passed away of cancer in 2009 when I was in high school. So what happened was the foundation was set, but we didn't get to see it all the way through. So there was no business to take over because my parents had to file bankruptcy and all kinds of stuff. It was really hard for my mom to like manage 4 kids and the businesses, and it was just a lot. So what I said, well, hey, if God sees it fit, I'm gonna follow those same footsteps, or whatever it is that he has for me is what I will step into. But my foundation was strong, and I knew that I was gonna do something pertaining to that at some point. And so yeah.
So I got a question for you. Let's get to the young MiAsia, right? Um, where did you grow up at, and how was it growing up in your neighborhood?
I am from Stone Mountain, Georgia. That is the east side of Atlanta. And I grew up in the suburbs. So my life was pretty structured. It was safe. I had a very good childhood, very spoiled. I mean, any toy I wanted, I had. Any pair of shoes, any electronics. Definitely grew up one of those privileged kids. But my parents, they come from a not so privileged background, so they wanted to be sure they provided the lifestyle that they wanted to live that they never had. So I was blessed, growing up.
So let's clarify something, right? Because for people that's watching that's not from Atlanta, not from the Georgia area, right? I'm very new. We just moved in December. Stone Mountain is no longer suburbs. So I want to make sure you clarify that, because you said Stone Mountain and then you said suburbs, and there are some people, because I'm a real estate broker too, right? So there are some people that may be like, "Oh, MiAsia said Stone Mountain is the burbs." No. So come on, clarify for the watchers. Let them know that
Okay,
it's
okay.
not like it
All right.
was. Yeah.
So I can clarify. Let me clarify. So back in the day, and I'm not giving my age, but back in those days, Stone Mountain was the suburbs. If you lived in Stone Mountain, it was two different sides of Stone Mountain. I mean, two different sides of, let's say, DeKalb County. DeKalb County in general is split. You got a good side and you got a bad side, just like any other neighborhood or city. And I stayed on the side where people were more fortunate. I stayed in a 3-story house. It was like about 6 bedrooms. But there's another side of Stone Mountain that was terrible. Now all of it's kind of similar because they haven't really been keeping it up or
Y'all heard what she
renovating.
said. She said all of it.
I'm
All of
not gonna.
it.
You know what? And it's not. And it's honestly, it's not all of it. It's
Okay.
still some. It's
80%.
still some decent parts. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's not like you. There's still some pieces of Stone Mountain where you can kind of leave your door unlocked. But there's more like the older people stay there, and they're more like older homes, and it's really quiet, and they still keep up with the line and stuff like that. But for the most part, yeah, Stone Mountain has definitely changed. More people have moved out to more Snellville, Gwinnett area, even come back to the north side to go to Smyrna and stuff like that. But like for the most part, yeah, Stone Mountain is not what it used to be.
Yeah. All right. So you grew up in Stone Mountain, right? Only child, or you have siblings? Talk to us about that.
I'm the oldest of 4. So it's 3 girls and 1 boy, and I've always had a responsibility of just making sure they were good. I'm like second mama, and that has been another challenge in my life is trying to break. Now that we're all older, try to break out of that motherly spirit and more so embrace them as siblings. And so, being the oldest, they always looked up to me, but they always also now feel like they have to impress me or they have to be on their P's and Q's. And, like that's a struggle that I've had, with my siblings.
Gotcha. Okay. So when you were younger, did you envision yourself doing radio, being this big time personality? Like, what did you envision yourself doing when you was growing up in the burbs of Stone Mountain?
Growing up in the burbs of Stone Mountain, I was a basketball player. I hooped all throughout school, middle school, high school, college. I played 2 years of college ball. I always wanted to be the woman playing overseas. I wanted to always be like Sanaa Lathan on Love and Basketball. I didn't really care about the WNBA part, but I definitely wanted to travel doing what I love. And then, I kind of tore my ACL my senior year, and then complications started, and it was hard to kind of like that workload and working out two a days and really putting in that work. It became a lot on my body. So I came to a point where I was like, hey, what's plan B? So plan B ended up being journalism. Well, actually, no, plan B was I ended up going to school for sports medicine. And so sports medicine didn't work out because by the time I started taking science, it started getting too complicated. And I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't care. I don't see how this can apply to my life. And it just wasn't aligning. I was getting distracted. So I ended up switching over to journalism. And that's where I was like, okay, I'm going to be a sports broadcaster. But sports didn't work out. So now entertainment is here. And so entertainment is what stuck for the last 10 years. And that's where I've been.
Got it. So I could see how there's a balance there, right? Because a sports broadcaster, you have to have that voice inflection, that projection to be able to articulate yourself in a way that grabs the audience. So kind of
Mhm.
because everybody looks at the person that's on the radio, like I could do that, right? Like that's easy, right? Kind of paint the
Yeah.
picture when you first got into the industry of being either a sportscaster or you went into radio personality. What are some of the things that you realized was that yeah, this is not as easy as I thought it was, or how people may perceive it to be?
Well, you know, it's so crazy. I had an experience, a live experience on air. And this was my first time going live to give the entertainment report. And my co-host opens up the mic and he's like, all right, MiAsia, so tell everybody what's going on in these streets. And I was like, well, and I paused. And I was so like deer in the headlights, like, oh my God. The first thing I'm thinking is, I know I'm behind this mic on the radio, but I know there are thousands of people in the car listening, and that's what intimidated me. So I froze. And that's when I realized that it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of heart inside of you to bring out the best of you. That was like a terrifying experience. But I promise you, after that, I did get in trouble. And my boss was like, if you ever freeze up like that again, you're fired. You know, so it kind of traumatized me, but at the same time, it got me right. Like I learned, like, okay, when you go live, just push through. And it's never about being perfect. It's about how you. So if you stumble over your words, it's okay. You can stumble, but it's how you pick it up. You don't want to ever go back and repeat the same sentence. You don't want to just freeze. You just got to move on. And if you stumble, just keep pushing through. And that's what I had to learn.
Hey, she's dropping those gems. Make sure y'all take those notes. We tell y'all every time we go, we record. Make sure you're taking these notes. And there was a viral video that me and my wife was watching last night. And we were laughing of this singer singing the national anthem, right, for the third party debate. And
I know who you're talking about.
and she messed up, and she said, and she didn't realize it was live. She was like, "Oh, I effed up. Let me do that over." And it was like, "You're live." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, it's one thing where, you on video or radio and there are people, you live. So they watching, they listening. And if you mess up, you got to find a way to, to fix that. Right. And so you froze, but it was a lesson. It was a lesson. And you realize that, man, either I fix it or I'm fired. So
Yeah.
was it the fear of being fired? Or was it the embarrassment that made you tighten up? Which one carried more weight?
It was the fear of failing as a woman, as a personality, it's like, man, you put in all this work and you're going to let one moment determine your whole career. You got to fix it. And so it wasn't even a fear of being fired, because I know sometimes you can lose your job no matter how good you are at something.
That's
But
good.
it was the fear of failure. It was the fear of failure that helped me get through and get right.
That's good.
So, what things did you implement other than we understand the fear of failure, but did you start doing some type of preparation, like either practicing in a car to work, talking to yourself in the mirror to get like all the people can't see you, but to be able to get your voice track down, get your rhythm as far as how you're communicating, what pace you're using when you're speaking on the radio? What kind of things did you put in place to mitigate something similar, or it was just, hey, I'm just going to go out and don't care how it comes out and not put that that type of fear in my mind?
The pressure, putting that pressure on yourself is a bad thing. You have to kind of go into it like, hey, you're prepared for this. You know exactly what it is that you're doing. You're ready for this moment. All the hard work you put in is this is time to put it to the test. So I would say for me, I've never been a person in the mirror like practicing or in the car practicing, but I was able to get my reps in because I still did the entertainment report, but I didn't do it live. I did it pre-recorded until I got good at it. So I was still getting my reps in every single day. And then the other part of that was too, like, even if I were to go live again in that moment, even the next day, I would have been able to push through. Like, okay, you stumble, just pick it back up. And so it was like a little bit of both.
Yeah,
Got it.
that's dope. So I was thinking about what's the artist's name that was messing up the Breakfast Club drop.
I was going to talk about that. I was
Webby.
going to ask
Yeah,
you.
Webby.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. But I want to switch a little bit and talk about branding, right? Because it's one thing that you're on the radio, but you do a tremendous job with establishing your brand outside of Hot 107.9. Can you talk about how that is important, right? Especially with the changes in radio and in music as a whole. Why is it important for someone to establish their brand outside of their place of employment?
Man, I take that as a compliment because you never know who's watching. So for you to see that, it means that my hard work is definitely going. It's noticed and that it's appreciated because, like, I've always put so much effort into what's going on outside of radio because I never got that shot at radio until about a few years ago. So you got to think out of 10 years of my career, I didn't get on air until year 7. And so those 7 years, I'm like, well, they're not giving me a shot here. What can I do until they notice me? I didn't give up on radio. I just said, let me put this to the side and let me build this over here. And I actually want this over here to be bigger than this so that they're begging for me to come over here. So it was one of those things where I was just like, hey, what is it that I'm good at? Let's make sure we get some good content creators. And that's actually how my production team was born, because I needed a videographer. I needed a photographer. I needed someone running my social media. Well, not running my social media, but, capturing little reels and videos, things that I could post on my social. And that's what, like, people started seeing me more. Now, honestly, I don't think I'm to the point where I want to be. But I do think my brand is respected. So now it's time to take it to the next level. Now it's time to elevate it a little bit more, define it more. There's a lot more that can be done, but I do appreciate what you all see so far. The hard work has definitely been put into that.
Man, there was a video I seen, I think 2 days ago, and it was kind of from I don't want to say the motivation. I've never seen him before. You know how stuff just pops up on your timeline, on your social media feed. And he was essentially talking about, like, most people try to do 2 + 2 = 4. Right. That's the basic norm, fundamental math, right? But a lot of people don't realize you could do 2 × 2, you could do 5 - 1. There's different ways to get to whatever your goal is. So 4 represents your goal, but there's different ways to get to 4. Sometimes you got to take a step back to get to your 4. Like, you excel, you fall back. So in the case of, like, hey, you're in a sportscaster seat, you got what at the time was like, hey, this is the gig I wanted, and then you flatline. But then that was your ability to really dig deep and get to your goal, right? Same case. You were wanting to be a radio show host, but things weren't clicking the way you wanted it to. It took you 7 years. And let's sidestep. It took 7 years. I want people to realize that, right? It wasn't year 1. It wasn't year 2. She kept on shooting her shot. She may not have took the direct shot towards it, right? She mentioned she put it to the side and she refocused her brand to bring people towards her. But she never gave up on her what her goal is, which is 4. She did 2 × 2 instead of 2 + 2. She did 5 - 1, right? So the goal here is that you just got to sometimes take a path that's not always the path that you originally had planned. But as long as you keep the ultimate, the end in mind, you will eventually get there. And I think that's what you did. And I just wanted to wrap that up and make it a little bit, put a bow on a little bit for the viewers to understand.
Listen, I'm going to say this right now. When we chop this up and make it real, I'm going to put the church organ behind that. I'm just letting you know, because you just preached a sermon about about Jacob and waiting for Rachel and like, listen, I promise you, I'm gonna give you that's gonna be a sermon right behind that. That 5 - 1.
Add to that.
Yeah.
I want to add to that part. So even though I did decide to put the radio portion to the side, I still had a hand in it. So I would say whatever it is, whatever direction it is that you're trying to go, it may not be the time might not be now, but always have a hand in it. So I was still on a promotions team at the radio station. They wouldn't give me a shot on air at all. I couldn't do an entertainment report. I couldn't report on anything. I couldn't speak. I had no airtime, but I was still on the promotions team, passing out flyers, passing out cups and bags and prizes and stuff to the people out at those events. So I always had a hand in it, so that when it was time, when my name was called, I still was doing the research. I still was studying. I still had my hands in that pot. So I would say that's the secret to being ready. What they always say, stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Was that like an internship thing when you was handing out the flyers and you still part of a promotion team, or was that just like an entry level position? What was that?
So at the very first station I was at, that was an intern position. But then I did join a promotions team at Intercom, and that was an entry level position. So it was both.
That's dope.
So I'm gonna drop something that one of our other guests said, right? Every current opportunity is pregnant with another opportunity. And what you did there was you took an internship, offered your service for free, and then another opportunity was able to be created from that. And then from there, you was in the entry level position, and then from there, you was
Mhm.
able to just, it kept on like expounded, right? So
Yep.
everybody wants to be here, but they're not realizing sometimes you got to start here. And all these smaller steps make it easier for you to handle what's up here, right? Like that's what I think a lot of people overlook. They
Yeah,
want all the glam and glit without the hard work that makes you strong, prepared for what's to come when
that's that's
that
right.
level comes up.
Listen, bro, there's some oil in that trailer. From now on, record from the trailer. Don't even go back to the house to record. Make sure you stay in the trailer, brother. There's some oil in that trailer, man, for sure. You know, so for those of you watching, we met MiAsia at Invest Fest, right? So it was our good brother Moses, right? And Moses' story. For those of you that may not know, you know, we met when he was still in the military, right? And I was out hustling CDs and all that good stuff in the mall. And he told me he rapped, and we went from there, right? But how he started from the mailroom, and you know, I think Warner Brothers was the first one, right? Interning, because he came on the show and talked about that too, right? And now to look at where he's at as far as in the industry and being respected is real dope. So I want to talk about the importance of recognizing when it's time to pivot, because you talked about how you wanted to be this basketball player, right? Love and Basketball is one of my favorite movies, by the way. Okay, so here it is that you know you're trying to be this top baller, and I got to see some footage to make sure that's legit that you used to hoop. We're not gonna just let you just say that, and there's you know nothing to back it up. But
Okay.
you tore your ACL, right? Talk to us mentally. Like, where were you at mentally when here it is, you're focused on this one goal, and then it comes to a halt with an injury? And there are people that thrive to make it in the NFL, the NBA, any sport. They get injured and they don't know what to do. Like, talk to us. Where were you mentally during this time period, and how was you able to just pivot? And how long did it take for you to pivot to journalism?
Well, so the ACL tear was a long, I would say it was a 3 to 4 year process before I started to give up on it, because I tore it my senior year going into high school. And so I had to sit out the first 6 months of my senior year in high school, and then I came back to finish the season. Now, that wasn't too bad. But then after high school, I still wanted to hoop. I still wanted to play, so I did 2 years of JUCO. Now, the 2 years of JUCO was very difficult for me because of the workload and the strain on my knees. I was always the one in the physical therapy room. I was always knees swollen, hurting. Oh my God. And then one started hurting because I was overcompensating on the other. It just became a whole problem, but I went through that for about 2 years. So mentally, I was already removing myself from the game. It's just like a relationship when you're in a relationship that you're not really happy, but you're hanging on for certain reasons. That's what I was going through. So I was hanging on because I'm like, this is what I want to do. There is no plan B. I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna recover. But then my body was just shutting down on me. And so when I had to decide to pivot, it was just to the point where I couldn't take it anymore. I was just like, you know what? I cannot get up and go to another practice. I cannot get up and do another suicide. I cannot go to another strenuous training session. I got to figure out something else to do. So mentally, I knew that I didn't really have a plan B, but I knew I was talented and I knew that I had gifts that God gave me. So, um, I wanted to be sure that I wasn't a one-dimensional person and that I really tapped into my inner self and came to a reality that, hey, it's time to get up out of this. It's time to utilize whatever skills God gave you. You don't have to hone in on just one. God made you multi-dimensional. So that's where I decided to pivot, was that conversation with myself after going through all that pain for years.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. So, all right. So now we talk a lot. We ask our guests about mentorship, right? So when you make a decision to go into a specific field, um, most people will seek out some type of mentorship, someone that can kind of take them under their wing and say, listen, I got you. I'm going to help bring you where you need to be. Who was that person for you that you was able to connect with, and that was willing, right, to put you under their wing to help you become who you're becoming?
Oh man, the first person that comes to mind is Ryan Cameron. You know, Ryan Cameron is a radio legend. He immediately saw my Ryan Cameron saw my talent back in 2020. I was introduced to him through a friend, Naima Abdullahi. She's also a very credible journalist. And this is when Clubhouse was out, and everybody was on Clubhouse. I mean, till 6, 7, 8, 9 in the morning. We didn't have anything else to do during the pandemic, and she connected us. And he instantly saw my talent. He instantly said, you know what? You're a star. You got it. He was like, it's only one other person before you who I used to mentor, and you remind me of her. And that person was Lala Anthony. So I took it as a big compliment, and I didn't take it for granted. And Ryan vouched for me, like to where I am. You know, he vouched for me from when it came to radio, when it was outside of radio. I'm now like a mentor. What is it? In his camp he has a leadership program, and I am actually the one of his coordinators of the leadership program with his students. But having him by my side is what actually pushed me through, as far as someone who believed in me and saw my talent. And so he's one of the ones. And then there's other names too, and I don't want to like start naming people because I feel like I'm going to miss out on a lot of different people. But many people have had their hands in my journey, whether it's giving me $100 for groceries when my refrigerator was empty, or if it was giving me a ride here, or helping me do this, or you know, it's people in my corner in my life. I've always had a very big support system. And so I couldn't have done none of this alone.
Hey, it takes a team. We got a
Mm-hmm.
coach. Me and Dom are part of a group, and it says we all need some help, right? So no one person can do anything just by themselves. And again, it speaks to what I was saying before. Just get in a room around people that you inspire to be like. No matter how uncomfortable it's going to be, discomfort only lasts momentary. At some point, you're going to get comfortable because those things that the other people are doing, you're going to start replicating, you're going to start seeing it, and you're going to start learning on how to become that person. So, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's what, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a question for you. So you're interviewing a lot of celebrities, right? Give us one funny story.
A funny story.
Yeah. Or someone that you probably had a preconceived notion that it was this way, right? And then you interviewed them and you was like, oh man, nothing like I thought they were. Maybe because
A
of
failed interview, like a failed interview.
yeah,
That's what you're looking
yeah,
for.
I don't think I have many people, like many super funny stories interview wise, but what I can say, my relationship with Rick Ross came from a great interview. And I would say it helped excel my career and my network just by him giving me the energy that he's given me, and him always opening up his door for me to come in, and he's given certain opportunities for me to, you know, just either cover his events or get into the room, or you know, he's given plenty of opportunities. And I think that the good interviews do bring great relationships. So
mm,
I may not have at the top of my head, because I have over 200 celebrity interviews. At the top of my head, I cannot think of a super funny moment, but I can I can say that, you know, a great relationships have come out from having great
I
interviews.
like how you dropped that. She said I had over 200 celebrity interviews. I
Yeah,
like
it
that.
was subtle. It was subtle, but it was
Yeah,
she
we had to give
flexed.
you
She
that.
flexed.
Yeah, that was a
She
nice,
flexed. You know?
definitely nice one,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
So we
yeah, go ahead,
go
Randall.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
Now, I was saying, like, we home in on just one lane, right? You got multiple lanes, right? So we talked about we're doing entertainment for the past 10 years. The past few years have been the radio show host personality, but you said that you started a nonprofit. You started I believe you said web design or some type of design platform that helps
A
people get their
production
pictures
team.
right. Say again.
Hmm. A production team.
Yeah, production team. So kind of walk us in sequential order. How did you? Because I doubt you started them all at once, right? So let's talk in sequence. Like, what was the first one? when did you feel comfortable, or when did the epiphany occur that, oh, let me start this next thing, and it just kind of, how did it grow to you having basically 4 different lanes of things that you're spinning at the same time?
So to be honest with you, there are 7 entities to my brand. 7. 3
Come
are
on
not
now. Come
developed.
on. Keep
But
dropping that
Okay,
fire. Let's
that
go.
was another
Let's
one. That was
go. Let's
another one.
go.
but 3 are not developed yet. They're just written on a whiteboard in web form. So they're gonna grow little by little. So what I do is I have all these ideas. Someone told me today, God blesses you with the idea. He may not bless you with the money, but he blesses you with the brain and the mindset to develop these ideas. So, the things that I have, I put them on a board because I don't want to feel like this person that's a hamster in a wheel or just doing so many things. What is it? Jack of all trades and master of none. I never want to feel like that. So what I've done is I've taken 1 or 2 passions, started with those. I was consistent with those for about a couple of years, and then I was like, let me add this because I know I need to add this to my brand. So each time I felt like I got the hang of something, then I added something else. But I still feel like you can never just feel comfortable or feel like you're fully where you need to be in each of those entities. So they're always going to need work, but you have to either get a team, get somebody who's going to help you run it before you move on to the next thing. You're only one person, so me trying to do that's the only reason why the other 3 entities are not developed yet, because I'm only one person and I don't want to just throw it out there and then you see it, now you don't. I want it to be something that is, I want everything that I do to have longevity. So
Good. That's good. That's good. That's good. So here's my question. We have the Forte experience. What can our guests expect from you hosting this event?
So being that, people are going to come out, it's going to be a network. I'm going to make people talk to each other. Atlanta sometimes likes to turn things into a fashion show and no one likes to talk to each other. So I'm going to make sure that people get to know one another, that they leave with at least 2 phone numbers for the night. It's just all about creating that experience and that safe space for people to come in and feel like, hey, let's leave the arrogance at the door. Let's leave the egos at the door. Let's come in and let's be open to what this event has to provide. So with a $1,000 pitch contest, whether it's just getting to know someone, my goal is to make sure that people feel full when they leave.
That's what I'm talking about. And
Yeah,
I did it.
yeah.
I did a reel, right? And I posted this reel and I let people know that everybody's not coming for the same reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's some people that's coming because they want to get information. So those that's going to be in the mastermind room, they're coming because they want to learn from the mobile home mommy. They want to learn from Ernestine Morrison. They want to learn from Chef X, right? They got questions that they want to be able to say, oh, how did you do this? And how did you get into this industry, right? Then there are people that going to make it a date night. You're like, listen, honey, let's go out. Let's go enjoy ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then there are people that's looking for a spouse. They single.
Mm-hmm.
They like to mingle, right? So, listen, I'm coming in my best dress and I'm going to leave here, like you said, 2 numbers. They may be like, I just need one. I just need one, right?
Yeah.
There are people coming because they want to be able to form business relationships, right? They want to be able to do business with someone that is like-minded. So whether it's real estate, whether it's finance, whether it's insurance, whether it's trucking business, right? And so we want people to know all of this is going to be in the room. It's going to be dope. It's going to be high energy, right? So you're going to be able to party. You're going to enjoy yourselves. We got DJ Manny. It's going to be hot. But it's gonna be fun. So I'm glad you're talking about, listen, make sure y'all connect. You don't just be standing on the wall, chilling to yourself, high and mighty, right? Because you're looking good and you smelling good. But just make sure that you cut a 2-step or 2 as well. So
Yeah.
yeah. What you got, Randall? What you got, bro?
I was about to say, even if you are on the wall, that's just going to be a target on your back. MiAsia's going to call you out and say, what you doing standing over there? Get in the middle of this and be able to 2-step. Get in the middle of this and get in this business card exchange. Get in the middle of this and get in this knowledge sharing that's happening over here. What you doing? Why you pay money to come to an all-black attire fair just to sit in the corner? This ain't the high school dance. You better get in the mix.
Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm going to tell you right now. When this song comes on, I don't care where I'm at. I'm on the floor. When I hear that, it's time for the percolator. That's a wrap. That's a wrap. My knees are not as young as they used to be, They're not as young as they used to be, but I still do a little something, man. So
Do a little.
yeah. A little something, a little something. But listen, y'all, get your tickets. Go to www.theforteexperience.com. We got some great people that's going to be present. We're looking forward to you all coming. MiAsia, any last words? Let us know 1 to 5 years from now, 5 to 10 years from now. Where is MiAsia Symone? Talk to us.
Oh man, 5 to 10 years from now, I would say I am on television. I have my own talk show. I'm more like a female Cannon or female Steve Harvey, and I'm still doing everything else I'm doing now. But by that time, I've added the other entity I was telling you about. So my goal is just to be a media mogul. I call myself a media maven already because I am an expert in my field, and I just want to continue to grow that and develop it.
That's dope. Can't get no better than that.
Yeah.
Can't get no better than that.
Just when you make it big and you on TV, right? Make sure the Forte podcast and then Forte experience is on there to be able to talk about what we got going on, right?
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's it. Major, hold on right quick. We're going to put you right in the green room and we're going to come right back to you.
Okay.
Hey man.
Listen,
Yeah, man.
MiAsia laid down the found work. She laid it down. She said nobody's going to be up against the wall. So if you come to the Forte experience, don't come half stepping. If you're going to come fully dressed up, dripped out, as these young folks, as my son says, come ready to have that conversation, right? Don't come sitting there just to be looking around. Be part of it. This network party is only beneficial to the people that attend.
Absolutely.
Because it's based off of how much you put into it, right? We can't pull some magic wand to get you to have a business card or a business relationship or get knowledge from somebody else. We could just create the space, but it requires you to do your part and actually engage in the conversation.
That's right.
We can only create the space.
Come on, man.
It's up to you to create the opportunity. The opportunity's there. Now go find what other opportunities come from that by being in the space. Come on.
I want you listening to me right now. I'm going to give y'all some insight based off of our all white in DC, right? The ladies want to dance. I'm going to say it again. The ladies want to dance. So for those of you fellas that think you can just be chilling in the corner, right? Just chilling with your arms folded, the Forte experience is not the place for that. Right? I need y'all to be gentlemen. I need you to walk over. I need you to, ask her, can you grab at something, right? Because me and Queen gonna be getting down on dance. I'm just letting that be known right now. Like, I don't know what y'all gonna be doing, but that's what needs to happen. So, fellas, I'm just letting you know. And normally I be trying to, pull people together. Y'all dance. Like, I ain't gonna have time for all that. I'm gonna be occupied. So, I'm just letting y'all know. This is not a bougie, experience. This is not a stuck-up experience. When people come to the Forte experience, they come to have a good time. Network, meet people, great food. You're going to be able to meet all the special guests. Like, it's going to be a dope experience. So go get your tickets while we still have them. www.theforteexperience.com. That's all we got. Hey, we out of here, man. This was good. We'll see y'all on next time. Let's go.